Okay, speaking of the
All
world.
right. Speaking of times, well, let's talk about Paramour. This is Cirque du Soleil, which has done so beautifully, around the world, just not in New York.
Keep going.
Not in New York. So they've tried different venues, and now they are trying a Broadway theater, and they're trying to do a Broadway musical. So what do we end up with? We end up with a moderately decent circus, a moderately decent Broadway musical, but neither really shines. This is,
There is a word, and it might be Yiddish, I'm not sure, but the word that I'm thinking of is mishmash. Is that Yiddish? Am I making that up?
I don't think it's Yiddish.
Okay, but it's faux Yiddish.
It is a very appropriate term.
It's where you take two things that don't belong together and you try to make them, and they don't work.
But that's not necessarily true, because it's essentially what they did for the revival of Pippin, and that worked beautifully.
But that was not a mishmash. That was a very carefully orchestrated, just enough of the circus, just enough of the play, and it was a good play to start with.
I never thought it was a good play to start with, but I loved it.
I thought it was brilliant.
But
this is a derivative piece of old time. Let's get the producer and the girl and the guy. And the guy loves the girl, and the producer wants the girl, and that's the story. And it's as old as silent movies, and probably the theater, in Greece, and literally in Greece, back in the day, the Greek theater, and whatever. That's the story, and they can tart it up with 8 billion acrobats and people swirling around, and it doesn't make it a good story. They didn't know when to put this, and they didn't know when to do that. So behind every scene, there was somebody spinning in the air or turning somersaults.
Well, sometimes they do integrate it, and when they do, it works very nicely. But and you have the leading lady here, very nice singer, who is, let's see, her name is
Ruby Lewis.
Ruby, what an appropriate name for a musical like this, a woman named Ruby.
And we have Jeremy Kushner, who actually was Ren in Footloose, as the producer or director or whatever he was.
He's the very rich, very powerful producer who discovers her.
Right.
And then there's, of course, Ryan Bona as Joey, the young songwriter who's in love with her, and
And then 120 unnamed acrobats. I don't know who they were. One of them lives in my building. I believe I'll come up with her
It's
name.
like a circus out there.
Yes, it's like a circus
Is it a good circus? And
I think her name is Miriam, as per our Miriam tonight.
But this was written, let's see, well, they don't say who wrote it here.
Yes, they do. You're on the wrong page.
Oh, I'm on the wrong page.
Okay.
Here we go. Bob and Bill, Guy Dubbock, and Mark Lessard are the composers. Andres Carlson is the co-composer. How many composers do they have on this thing? And they don't say who did the book here or anything like that.
They must somewhere, but we'll never find it because they've got 82 credits as well.
Yes.
It's too many cooks spoiling the broth or too many acrobats spoiling the show. Whatever way you want to put it. I know you liked it better than I did.
Yes, I do.
I have assiduously avoided Cirque du Soleil after the first one I ever saw because enough, you've seen one, you've seen them all is the way I've thought about it. This was different, and so I gave it a shot.
Right.
And I wanted very much to like it. And yes, there's talent. There's always talent. It's just somebody didn't know how to make it cohesive. There's no cohesiveness to this.
All right. It gelled, but not as good as well as it should have, especially when you compare it to Pippin. That said, definitely enjoyable, definitely worth seeing, and I'm going to give it 3 playbills.
I would go for 2.5. I mean, people are going to spend money because they want to see Cirque du Soleil in New York rather than having to go to Las Vegas, but it's really a waste of time for me.
One of these days, I would like to see it in Las Vegas because it's done a heck of a lot better there than it has in New York. All right, moving on.
Does that mean you want to go to Las Vegas, Charlie?
I actually do want to go to Las Vegas. Yes, I've never been there.
You know how much hotter it is there than it is here right now? Just in case you weren't
not by much, actually, and but it's not as humid. It's
okay.